Captain Robert Hayes stood at the command center of the UES Thunderchild, his eyes fixed on the massive holographic display before him. The emergency signal from the colony ship kept flashing, its red pulses matching the rapid beating of his heart. His ship, Earth's most advanced battleship, cut through space like a blade of polished steel. "Captain, we're picking up multiple unknown vessels near our colony ship," Lieutenant Emily Walsh reported from her weapons station. Her fingers danced across the control panel, bringing up detailed scans. "They're heavily armed, sir." Hayes straightened his navy blue uniform. After 15 years of space exploration, humanity had finally made first contact, but not in the way they had hoped. The colony ship Freedom's journey had been on its way to establish humanity's first settlement beyond the solar system when it encountered the alien vessels. "Open a channel to the Freedom's journey," Hayes ordered, his voice calm despite the tension in the air. The main screen flickered to life, showing the pale face of the colony ship's captain. "Thank God you're here, Thunderchild," she said, her voice shaking. "These aliens, they're demanding we turn back. They say we're violating some kind of space law we never knew existed." Hayes nodded slowly. "We'll handle this. Hold your position." The alien ships were beautiful in a strange way. Curved purple hulls that seemed to shimmer like oil on water. There were 5 of them, arranged in a formation around the colony ship. Each one was at least twice the size of the Freedom's journey. "Sir, they're hailing us," called out Communications Officer Rachel Martinez. "Put them through." The holographic display changed, showing a tall, thin creature with silvery skin and large black eyes. When it spoke, its words were automatically translated by the ship's AI. "This is High Commander Zextal of the Galactic Council Defense Force. You are in violation of Council space. Your kind has not been approved for interstellar travel. Return to your home system immediately." Hayes took a deep breath. "This is Captain Robert Hayes of the United Earth ship Thunderchild. We were unaware of any galactic laws restricting travel. Our colony ship is on a peaceful mission. Perhaps we could discuss this." The alien's expression changed to something that might have been discussed. "Primitive species do not get to discuss council law. You will comply, or we will force compliance." The threat hung in the air like a physical thing. Hayes looked around his bridge, at Emily's determined face, at Rachel's worried expression, at the dozen other crew members waiting for his orders. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but not like this. "High Commander," Hayes said carefully, "we mean no disrespect to your laws. However, we cannot simply abandon our colony ship. These people have their whole lives invested in this mission. Surely we can reach an understanding." "Understanding?" The alien made a sharp clicking sound. "Your species is barely out of its gravity well. You have no standing here. We have ruled the stars for millennia. Last warning. Leave or face the consequences." Hayes felt a familiar calm settle over him, the same calm that had helped him survive the Mars crisis 5 years ago. "Sir, with all due respect, I cannot comply with that order. These are Earth citizens under my protection." The alien's next words were cold. "Then you have chosen conflict." The transmission cut off. "They're powering up weapons," Emily called out. Her hands flew over her console, reading energy buildup in all 5 ships. Hayes straightened in his chair. Earth's scientists had discovered those alien ruins on Mars just 10 years ago. In that time, they had learned, adapted, and evolved their technology beyond anything these aliens might expect. The Thunderchild wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's masterpiece. "Battle stations," Hayes ordered, his voice steady. "Activate quantum shields. Bring all defensive systems online. Lieutenant Walsh, target their weapons systems only. Let's show them we can defend ourselves without destroying their ships." Alarms blared throughout the massive battleship as crew members rushed to their posts. The Thunderchild's advanced systems hummed to life, its quantum-enhanced hull beginning to glow with a subtle blue light. "Sir," Rachel said suddenly, "I'm detecting more ships entering the system. Lots more." Hayes watched as dozens of purple ships emerged from faster-than-light travel, surrounding them in a sphere of overwhelming force. The Galactic Council apparently didn't believe in fair fights. He allowed himself a small smile. They were about to learn that humanity didn't play by the old rules. All hands, he announced shipwide, prepare for combat. Let's show the galaxy what Earth can do. The bridge of the UES Thunderchild fell silent as the alien fleet surrounded them. Lieutenant Emily Walsh studied her weapons display, her blue eyes reflecting the glow of numerous enemy targets. Something about the alien ship's shield patterns caught her attention. "Captain," she said, breaking the tense silence, "I'm seeing something interesting in their defensive systems." Captain Hayes moved to her station, keeping his voice low. "What have you found?" "Their shields." Emily pointed to the scanning data. "They're using a single-layer energy field. It's strong, but it's not adaptive like ours. They don't know about the breakthroughs we made from the Mars ruins." Before Hayes could respond, the main screen lit up again. High Commander Zextal's silver face filled the display, his black eyes somehow colder than before. "Humans," he said, his translated voice dripping with contempt. "You have one final chance to understand your place in the galaxy. We have ruled the stars since before your kind learned to make fire." Hayes stood straight, his hands clasped behind his back. "And yet here we are, High Commander. Perhaps it's time for the galaxy to change." The alien leader's face twisted. "You dare? Let me educate you on reality, human. The Galactic Council controls 50,000 star systems. We have destroyed civilizations far more advanced than yours for lesser offenses. Then why warn us at all?" Hayes asked calmly. "Why not simply attack?" The question seemed to catch Zextal off guard. He paused before answering. "Because we are not barbarians like you. We offer mercy to lesser species." Emily continued working at her station, sending data to the ship's AI for analysis. The more she studied their technology, the more she realized how different human and alien approaches to warfare were. The Council relied on overwhelming force and ancient, unchanged designs. Humanity had taken those same basic principles from the Mars ruins and completely reimagined them. Lesser species. Hayes allowed himself a small smile. "High Commander, I suggest you check your scans of our ship more carefully. The readings might surprise you." Zextal made that sharp clicking sound again. "Enough. You had your chance. Now witness the power off." "Sir," Emily cut in. "They're charging their main weapons." The space around them lit up as 40 alien ships prepared to fire. Their purple hulls pulsed with energy, building up to what they clearly thought would be a devastating attack. Hayes turned to his crew. "Remember your training. Emily, activate the quantum mirror shields. Rachel, record everything for Earth Command. Let's show them why humanity's different." The alien ships fired. Beams of intense energy shot toward the Thunderchild from all directions. For a moment, the human ship disappeared in a blinding flash of light. When the light faded, the Thunderchild floated untouched. Its blue quantum shield shimmer had turned slightly brighter, but otherwise, there was no effect. Emily couldn't help but grin at her readings. "Shield strength at 98% and rising, sir. Their attack actually helped charge our buffers." The look on Zextal's face was priceless. His silver skin had paled to almost white. "Impossible. Those were Class 9 particle beams. No shield could." "High Commander," Hayes interrupted, "perhaps now you'd like to discuss things properly. We've learned a lot from those ruins you left on Mars. Your ancestors built great things, but they stopped innovating. Humanity doesn't make that mistake." The alien leader's response was cut off by new alarms. Emily's eyes widened at her display. "Captain, they're bringing in reinforcements, much bigger ships this time." Through the bridge windows, they watched as massive purple warships emerged from light speed. Each one was easily 10 times the size of the Thunderchild. "You know nothing of power," Zextal snarled. "Those are our dreadnoughts. Each one can destroy a small moon. Surrender now, and we might let your species survive as our servants." Hayes looked at Emily, who nodded confidently at her scans. The captain then turned back to the screen, his expression serious. "High Commander, I'll make this simple. Either leave our colony ship alone and let us pass, or learn why Earth's battles against itself were more devastating than any war you fought in 1,000 years. Your choice." The alien ships moved closer, their weapons charging again. Emily's hands hovered over her controls, ready to show them exactly what human innovation could do. The real battle was about to begin. Intelligence Officer Daniel Foster rushed onto the bridge of the Thunderchild, holding his tablet computer. His normally neat brown hair was messy from running. "Captain Hayes," he called out, "I've decoded their tactical communications. You need to see this right away." Hayes took the tablet, his eyes scanning quickly over the translated alien messages. His face grew serious. "They're not just trying to stop our colony ship," he said. "They're planning to follow us back to Earth." The massive alien dreadnoughts loomed closer on the main screen. Their purple hulls now glowed with bright energy as they prepared to attack. High Commander Zextel's face appeared again on the communications screen, looking confident. "Your pathetic shields cannot handle our dreadnought's power," the alien leader said. "Surrender now." Emily Walsh spoke up from her weapons station. "Captain, quantum shields are ready." And she smiled. "The Dustmaker is charged." Hayes nodded. The Dustmaker was the Thunderchild's secret weapon. Earth's scientists had discovered its plans in the Mars ruins, but the aliens had never built it, thinking it was too dangerous. Humans had not only built it, but made it better. "High Commander," Hayes said calmly, "this is your final warning. Let us pass peacefully." Zextel laughed, a strange, hissing sound. "Fire all weapons. Destroy these primitives." The space around the Thunderchild lit up like a new sun. Every alien ship fired at once. Their energy beams were much stronger than before. The quantum shields glowed brighter and brighter as they absorbed the massive attack. "Shield holding at 85%, Emily reported. "They're actually giving us more power than they're taking away." Daniel studied his screen. "Sir, they're grouping their dreadnoughts for another attack. They think they need more firepower." Hayes stood up from his captain's chair. "Time to show them what humanity can really do. Emily, target the closest dreadnought with the Dustmaker. Low power, we just want to disable it." Emily's fingers flew over her controls. The front of the Thunderchild opened like a flower, revealing a strange crystal device that glowed with white light. The alien ship stopped firing, probably wondering what this new weapon was. "Dustmaker ready, sir," Emily said. "Target locked. Fire." A beam of pure white light shot out from the Thunderchild. It hit the nearest dreadnought's shields and passed right through them like they weren't even there. Where the beam touched the massive alien ship, the purple metal simply disappeared. It didn't explode or break apart. It turned into a cloud of dust that floated away in space. Half of the dreadnought was just gone. The other half drifted helplessly, its crew probably in shock. Complete silence filled all communication channels. Even Zextel seemed speechless. By the Ancient Ones, the alien commander finally whispered, "What have you done?" "We call it the Dustmaker," Hayes explained. "It breaks matter down to its smallest parts. Your ancestors designed it, but were afraid to build it. We weren't afraid. We made it work." Daniel's voice cut in urgently. "Sir, they're calling for even more ships. A whole battle fleet this time." Hayes looked at the damaged dreadnought, then at the shocked faces of the alien crews visible through various video feeds. He hadn't wanted to frighten them, but they needed to understand that humanity wasn't weak. "High Commander," Hayes said firmly, "we can destroy your entire fleet. We don't want to, but we will if we must. All we want is to build our colony and live in peace. What's your choice?" Through the bridge windows, they could see hundreds more alien ships appearing. But something was different now. The new ships kept their distance, forming a wide circle around the Thunderchild. They had seen what happened to the dreadnought. They were afraid. Zextal's silver face had lost all its confidence. The Council will not accept this. You cannot be allowed to keep such power. The Council will have to accept that the galaxy is changing, Hayes replied. Humanity is here to stay. Now shall we discuss peace, or should I demonstrate the Dustmaker's full power? The alien commander looked at something off-screen, then back at Hayes. Fear and anger fought in his expression. The future of human-alien relations would be decided in the next few moments. Communications Officer Rachel Martinez focused on her screen as alien signals flooded her systems. With quick fingers, she sorted through the panicked messages between enemy ships. "Captain," she said, turning to Hayes, "they're scared but angry. The dreadnought crews are calling us demons in their private channels. But that's not all." She paused, frowning at a new message. "They're calling for something called the Guardian Fleet." High Commander Zextal's image still showed on the main screen, but now other alien faces appeared in smaller windows. They wore different uniforms and had slightly different colored skin: silver, gray, and pale blue. "You see, human," Zextal said, some confidence returning to his voice. "The Council's Guardian Fleet approaches. They protect our space from dangerous species like yours. Their weapons are beyond anything you've seen." Emily Walsh checked her scanners. "Captain, massive energy readings at the edge of the system. Bigger than anything we've seen yet." Through the bridge windows, they watched as new ships appeared. These were different, golden instead of purple, and shaped like giant arrowheads. Each one was larger than all 3 dreadnoughts combined. "The Guardians have defended Council space for 10,000 years, Zextal announced proudly. "No enemy has ever defeated them. Surrender now, while you still can." But Rachel noticed something in the alien transmissions that made her smile. "Sir," she said to Hayes, "they're terrified of the Dustmaker. The Guardian crews are arguing about who has to go first." Hayes nodded slowly. He had expected this. "Emily, power up the Dustmaker to full strength. Let them see it charging." The crystal weapon began to glow brighter than before, its white light filling the bridge. The Guardian ships immediately backed away, spreading out as if trying to avoid being an easy target. "Interesting," Hayes said calmly. "Your mighty Guardians seem rather cautious, High Commander." More alien leaders appeared on the screen now. They spoke quickly in their own language, which Rachel's systems translated. "We cannot risk the Guardian Fleet. These humans are too dangerous. The weapon violates all known laws of physics." Hayes raised his hand for silence. "Gentlemen, let me be clear. We don't want to destroy your ships. We don't want to fight at all. But we will not be bullied, and we will not be stopped from building our colony." Daniel Foster spoke up from his intelligence station. "Sir," picking up new transmissions, "the Council leadership is holding an emergency meeting about us." Suddenly, all the alien faces disappeared from the screen except Zextal's. The High Commander looked troubled. This is unprecedented," he said. "The Guardian Fleet has never hesitated to attack before. Perhaps we should discuss terms." But before Hayes could answer, one of the Guardian ships moved forward. Its golden hull blazed with energy as it prepared to fire. "Emily," Hayes ordered, "minimum power. Target their main weapon only." The Dustmaker fired again. Its white beam struck the Guardian ship's main gun, turning it instantly to floating dust. The massive ship spun away, crippled but mostly intact. Complete silence fell across all channels. Rachel's console lit up with new messages. "Sir, the Guardian Fleet is. They're requesting permission to retreat." They watched as the golden ships began to back away. The regular Council ships followed, leaving only Zextal's command vessel near the Thunderchild. The High Commander's silver face showed a mix of emotions: fear, respect, and curiosity. "How?" he asked simply. "How did you improve our ancestors' weapons so much?" "Because we never stopped asking questions," Hayes answered. "Your people found the plans and said, too dangerous. We found them and asked, how can we make this work? That's the difference between us. Zextal was quiet for a moment. The council will need time to discuss this situation. We request a temporary ceasefire. Hayes looked at his crew, at Rachel's proud smile, at Emily's confident nod, at Daniel's satisfied expression. Humanity had stood its ground. Ceasefire granted, Hayes said. And High Commander, when your council is ready to talk, tell them Earth would prefer to be friends rather than enemies. We have much we could learn from each other. As the alien ships retreated, the colony ship Freedom's journey moved closer to the Thunderchild. Their mission wasn't over, but something bigger had happened here. Humanity had just become a power in the galaxy, and nothing would ever be the same. Engineering Chief William Cooper wiped sweat from his forehead as he worked on the Dustmaker's power core. The massive engine room of the Thunderchild hummed around him, filled with the sound of machinery. Chief, one of his engineers called out, "You need to see this. The alien ships are doing something strange." Cooper climbed up to the engineering deck's main viewport. Through it, he could see hundreds of new ships arriving. But these weren't just council ships anymore. They were all different shapes and colors. "Captain Hayes," Cooper called through the ship's comm system. "The power readings from these new ships are off the charts. They're using some kind of combined energy field." On the bridge, Hayes watched as the strange fleet grew larger. Daniel Foster's intelligence screen showed more ships arriving every minute. "Sir," Daniel reported, "I'm counting at least 7 different alien species out there. They're forming some kind of emergency alliance against us." The main screen lit up with multiple alien faces. Besides the silver-skinned council members, there were now reptilian aliens, floating gas creatures, and even what looked like living crystals. A deep voice spoke, coming from one of the reptilian aliens. "Humans, I am War Chief Kraz of the Sentinel Worlds. The Council has convinced us that your weapon is too dangerous to exist. Surrender it, or face our combined might." Hayes stayed calm. "War Chief, with respect, you've seen what one human ship can do. Do you really want to risk your fleet?" A gas creature floated forward in its viewing screen. Its voice sounded like whistling wind. "We are the oldest species in the galaxy. Together, we cannot be defeated. Your Dustmaker is powerful, but it can only fire in one direction. We will attack from all sides at once." Cooper's voice came through again. "Captain, I have an idea. The Dustmaker wasn't meant to be used this way, but what if we split the beam?" Emily Walsh turned to her weapons console, understanding immediately. "Yes, we could use the quantum shields to reflect the beam, hit multiple targets at once." The alien leaders continued making threats, but Hayes focused on Cooper's suggestion. "Can you do it safely?" "Give me 10 minutes," Cooper replied. His hands were already moving over his tools. "I'll have to rewire half the power core, but it'll work." The alien fleet was still growing. Now there were thousands of ships, forming a massive sphere around the Thunderchild and the colony ship it protected. "Your time is up, humans," War Chief Kraz announced. "This is your final warning." Hayes looked at his crew. Emily nodded. Weapons were ready. Rachel had her hands on the communications controls. Daniel was recording everything for Earth Command. "Actually," Hayes said to the aliens, "I think it's time for our warning. Chief Cooper, are you ready?" "Ready, sir. The power core is stable. We can split the beam into 12 separate streams now." The aliens must have detected the power change in the Thunderchild. Their ships started moving, preparing to attack. "This is your last chance," Hayes announced to the alien fleet. "Withdraw now, or we will be forced to demonstrate our full capabilities." The gas creature made a sound like laughing wind. "You cannot frighten us with your tricks. All ships, attack pattern." "Emily," Hayes ordered quietly, "demonstrate." The Dustmaker fired. But this time, instead of one beam, 12 streams of white light shot out in different directions. The quantum shields caught them, and reflected them again and again, creating a web of deadly energy. When it was over, 20 alien ships had been turned to dust. The beams had sliced through their strongest shields like they weren't even there. Silence fell across space. The alien fleet stopped moving. War Chief Kraz spoke first, his reptilian face showing clear shock. "Impossible. No weapon can." "We tried to warn you," Hayes said firmly. "Earth doesn't want enemies. But we won't be threatened, not by the Council, not by your coalition, not by anyone." The alien leaders began arguing among themselves. Some wanted to retreat. Others wanted to keep fighting. But they all showed fear now. Cooper's voice came through again, proud but tired. "Captain, we can do that 3 more times before the power core needs recharging. After that, Hayes finished for him. Speaking to the aliens, "We'll switch to our other weapons. Would anyone like to see those?" The alien fleet started backing away slowly. Their great coalition was falling apart before it could even fight. The age of human power in the galaxy had truly begun. Dr. Karen Phillips rushed into the bridge of the Thunderchild, her white lab coat flowing behind her. "Captain Hayes, the aliens are using biological weapons." Through the main viewport, they could see a strange green mist spreading from some of the alien ships. It moved through space like a living thing, trying to reach the human ships. "They're desperate now," Daniel Foster said from his intelligence station. "They're using forbidden weapons. Even the Council outlawed these." Hayes turned to Dr. Phillips. "Can our shields stop it?" She smiled confidently. "Better than that. Remember those medical research files we found in the Mars ruins? I've modified our air filters. The bioweapons won't just be stopped, they'll be turned back against them." The alien coalition had gathered their largest fleet yet. Ships of all shapes and sizes filled the space around them. The Council's purple ships, the golden guardian vessels, the crystal ships that sparkled like stars, and hundreds of others. War Chief Kraz's face appeared on the main screen again. "Humans, this ends now. You had your chance to surrender peacefully." Emily Walsh checked her weapons. "Dustmaker is ready, Captain. And this time, we can split it into 20 beams." Rachel Martinez spoke up from communications. "Sir, I'm picking up new signals. Earth ships are coming." Through the darkness of space, they saw flashes of light. 5 more human battleships appeared, all built from the same plans as the Thunderchild. The aliens hadn't known Earth had more ships ready. "This is Captain Linda Carter of the UES Defiant," a new voice said over the comm. "Thought you could use some help, Robert." Hayes smiled. "Welcome to the party, Linda. You're just in time." The alien fleet started moving. Thousands of ships, all attacking at once. They fired everything they had. Energy beams, missiles, the green biological weapon, and strange weapons no human had seen before. "Quantum shields holding," Emily reported. "Dr. Phillips' upgrades are working. The bioweapon is being reflected back." They watched as the green mist turned back on the alien ships, making them lose power and drift away. The other human ships moved into formation with the Thunderchild, their own quantum shields glowing bright blue. "All human ships," Hayes commanded, "prepare to fire dustmakers on my mark." War Chief Kraz screamed through the communication channel. "No. All ships, evasive action. They'll destroy the whole fleet." But it was too late. At Hayes' signal, 6 dustmakers fired at once. The white beams split and reflected, creating a massive web of energy that covered the battlefield. Where the beams touched, alien ships turned to clouds of dust. The remaining alien vessels tried to retreat, but they crashed into each other in their panic. The mighty coalition fleet was falling apart. Dr. Phillips watched from her science station. "The bioweapon has completely backfired. Their own ships are being disabled by it." "Sir," Rachel called out, "new message coming in. It's from the Council's Supreme Leader." A new face appeared on the screen. An ancient-looking alien with skin like polished silver. When it spoke, its voice carried great authority. "Stop this battle," it commanded. "Too many ships are lost. Too many lives wasted." The Supreme Leader looked directly at Hayes. "Captain, you have proven your point. Humanity is clearly more capable than we believed." Hayes stood straight. "We never wanted this fight. We only wanted peaceful exploration and colonization." "Yes," the Supreme Leader said slowly. "We understand that now. Perhaps it is time for the Council to change, to remember how our own ancestors were explorers and innovators before we became rulers." The remaining alien ships stopped attacking. The Great Fleet began to withdraw, leaving only a few Council ships behind. "Captain Hayes," the Supreme Leader continued, "we request a meeting. Not for surrender, but for partnership. The galaxy is changing. The Council must change with it." Hayes looked at his crew, at Dr. Phillips' proud smile, at Emily's satisfied nod, at Rachel's hopeful expression. They had faced the combined might of the galaxy's oldest civilizations, and they had won. "We accept," Hayes said simply. "Let's talk about the future." As the alien fleet retreated, the colony ship Freedom's journey moved forward again. They would reach their destination now, under the protection of not just the Thunderchild, but the whole human fleet. The stars were humanity's home now, and no one would ever doubt their power again. 1 month after the great battle, Captain Robert Hayes stood in the massive council chamber on the alien capital world. The room was huge, with tall crystal windows showing the stars outside. Representatives from 100 alien species filled the chamber, all watching the first human to speak here. "The choice is simple," Hayes said, his voice carrying across the silent room. "Earth joins the Council as an equal member, or we go our own way. Either way, we will not be stopped from exploring the stars." The Supreme Leader sat on a floating throne, looking down at Hayes. Behind Hayes stood his crew: Emily Walsh, Rachel Martinez, Daniel Foster, William Cooper, and Dr. Phillips. They had all earned the right to be here. "You ask for much," the Supreme Leader said. "No species has ever joined the Council so quickly. It usually takes thousands of years to earn a seat. No species has ever turned your own weapons against you." War Chief Kraz growled from his seat, but there was respect in his voice now, not just anger. "The humans learned in decades what we forgot over millennia." The gas creature representative floated forward. "They defended their colony ship without destroying our fleet when they could have. They showed both power and mercy. These are Council qualities." High Commander Zextal, who had fought the Thunderchild first, stood up. "I was wrong about humans," he admitted. "They are not primitives. Their ships now guard trade routes that the Guardian fleet once protected. Some of our own ships are already asking for human shield technology." Hayes nodded. In the month since the battle, things had changed quickly. Earth had shared some of its less dangerous technology as a show of good faith. Human quantum shields now protected alien civilian ships from pirates. The Dustmaker remained Earth's secret, but they had plenty of other advances to offer. "Perhaps," the Supreme Leader said thoughtfully, "it is we who lost our way. We forgot that the Council was created to help species grow, not to hold them back. We became guards instead of guides." Emily Walsh stepped forward. "Earth doesn't want to rule anyone. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. And yes, to defend ourselves if we must. But we'd rather help build something new." Rachel Martinez added, "Already, 17 alien species have asked to learn our language. They want to understand how we think, how we solve problems. They want to work with us, not against us." The Supreme Leader raised a hand for silence. The chamber grew quiet again. "We have voted," the ancient alien announced. "Earth will have its seat on the Council. More than that, we create a new position, Head of Innovation. This seat will belong to humanity." Cheers and shouts filled the chamber. Even some of the aliens who had fought against the Thunderchild were clapping or making their species signs of approval. Additionally, The Supreme Leader continued, "The Council travel laws are hereby changed. No longer will we restrict species from exploring the stars. Instead, we will guide them, help them, as we should have done with Earth." Hayes smiled. This was more than victory. It was revolution. The galaxy's oldest government was changing because of humanity's actions. The Thunderchild will remain a symbol, the Supreme Leader declared. Not of war, but of change, of progress. It showed us that we had grown stagnant, comfortable in our power. Now we must grow again. As the chamber erupted in celebration, Hayes looked at his crew. They had done more than defend a colony ship. They had changed the galaxy forever. Daniel Foster checked his tablet. "Sir, Earth Command sends congratulations. They're already preparing diplomatic teams for the Council." Dr. Phillips smiled. "And research teams. The aliens have so much medical knowledge to share. Don't forget engineering," Chief Cooper added. "Wait until they see what else we've built." Hayes looked out the crystal windows of the stars. Somewhere out there, the colony ship Freedom's journey was landing on its new world. More colony ships would follow. Humanity would spread among the stars not as conquerors or servants, but as equals, as innovators, as teachers. "Well done, everyone," Hayes said to his crew. "Let's get back to the Thunderchild. We have a galaxy to explore." As they walked out of the council chamber, aliens of all species moved aside respectfully. The age of human power had begun, but it would be power used wisely. The dust of old laws and old fears had been swept away. The future was bright with possibility.